audio, but don't talk.
You said what?
Said he's using your audio, but don't talk.
To Carson Cooper.
No. He needs it on.
A forward from USC, number 40, Ezra Assar. A forward from Texas A&M, number 31, Rashawn Agee. A forward from Liberty, number 30, Zach Cleveland. A guard from LSU, number 23, Max McKinnon. A guard from Miami, Ohio, number 22, Peter Suter. A guard from Bowling Green, number 12, Javante Campbell. And a guard from Howard University, number 21, Bryce Harris. The coaches for the Portsmouth Partnership are Eric Johnson, Evan Key, and from the NBA, Marwan Sarhan. Now time to introduce the home team tonight, or the truckers on the scoreboard, the Norfolk Sports Club. A center from Tennessee, number 40, Felix Akpara. A forward from Purdue, number 32, Trey Kaufman-Renn. A forward from Michigan State, number 30, Jackson Kohler. A forward from FIU, number 31, Corey Stevenson. A guard from Michigan, number 22, Neelan Burnett. A guard from North Carolina, number 21, Seth Trimble. A guard from Central Florida.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, on the spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
And we welcome you to the 72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament from Churchland High School. It's game number 4 of our 12-game marathon, as we now have tonight the Norfolk Sports Club wearing the white uniforms, taking on Portsmouth Partnership in the orange jerseys. And we're glad you're with us here. You're watching On the Spot Norfolk 27 and our action globally on Prep Spin, in addition to those watching on Channel 27 of the Hampton Roads Market, alongside Jordan Maka and former NBA guard and North Carolina ACC Tournament MVP Shammond Williams. I am Matthew Hatfield. Fellas, it should be an exciting matchup today. There is one scratch. Duke Miles from Vanderbilt did not make the trip. Taking his place in the lineup for Portsmouth Partnership is Bryce Harris. Shammond and Jordan, let's get your thoughts on this matchup. We have some talented players, some Big Ten names like Carson Cooper and Jackson Kohler and Trey Kaufman-Renn, and should be some exciting action from start to finish.
Yeah, so I would say that it's going to be one of the better games so far, and it's been a great tournament so far. I think that the Big Ten names, the big men, are going to really show out tonight. So let's see what they have.
But Shammond, you're a guard, so you're watching those guys with the ball in their hands, aren't you, on the perimeter?
Yeah, I'll be watching the guards. It's big-time schools here. When you look at the rosters, there's a lot of great, talented guys who played a lot of minutes on meaningful stages. So it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to being in this new environment and playing a different style of basketball than what they've been accustomed to over their careers.
Norfolk Sports Club is coached by Webb Hatch, Jim Corrigan, and Shanice Sims. They're in the white jerseys with Themis Fulks, the 6'2 guard from UCF out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Seth Trimble, the 6'3 guard from North Carolina out of Wisconsin. Namari Burnett, 6'5 guard from Michigan out of Chicago, Illinois, part of the national champs. And then rounding out the lineup is TKR, Trey Kaufman-Renn from Sellersburg, Indiana, and part of Purdue's run to the Elite 8. And you also have Felix Akpara, the 6'11 center from Tennessee out of Nigeria, as we get our first foul on this game. And Portsmouth Partnership coached in the orange jerseys by Evan Key, Eric Johnson, and Marwan Sarhan. We see them with the basketball to start things off. It is Javante Campbell, the 6'2 guard from Bowling Green, who was the MAC Defensive Player of the Year with the rock right now. He gets downhill, and he's going to be fouled from behind by Akpara. No, Akpara's story, guys, is really, it's something else. I mean, coming from Nigeria, but the thing about him was watching so many SEC games this year, he was a menace on the offensive boards.
Yes, he was extremely
Absolutely
physical
attacks
and
the glass with
athletic.
reckless abandon. Sure.
Yeah, he does a great job of rebounding in space, real physical on the rebounds. And so when you talk about Nigerian players, he really lived up to the expectation and the reputation of Nigerian players with his physicality. So it'd be interesting to see how offensively savvy is he being outside the Tennessee environment.
Campbell hits the first of 2 free throws, a guy that was 4th in the nation in steals a year ago. But I think when you have players that have that defensive mentality, Jordan, you're always looking to see what they do offensively in a setting like this, especially against some players from some of the bigger name schools, as that three-point shot is off the back iron and no good. Rebounded inside, though, by Akpara as he'll try to get the first field goal of the game. Ball is loose on the floor. It's going to be picked up in orange by Campbell. I'll tell you more about the starting lineup with Campbell and company in a moment, but it's stolen away as back with it, it's Norfolk Sports Club with the basketball. Seth Trimble has it. Part of that North Carolina Tar Heels team that made the NCAA tournament this year. He kicks it out from the corner, working on Campbell, trying to get closer to the basket. It's going to be Fultz as it's a foul on Campbell. 12 versus 12 here in this matchup.
Yeah, it's some real physical guys out there tonight in this game. You can look at their bodies and you can tell that they played high-level basketball in college. I mean, there isn't a body lacking.
No, this is a grown man game, Jordan, in the front court. But you see some of these matchups. I know fans have to be salivating for them because we saw a couple of these type of matchups in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, an SEC Big Ten play. We're talking about names like Cooper and, of course, Akpara and Kolar. But who's going to stand out today as it's a lob inside, and it's going to be blocked at the rim right there as it is Cooper having it rejected by Akpara.
There he is, being physical defensively.
What a matchup there with those two guys as we watch the replay on it again. Lob inside, and you see comes right at him.
Yes.
Timing.
Yeah, great job by Akpara. I mean, he's used to physicality being in the SEC and then having to deal with those guys at the University of Florida.
Off the glass, the shot is going to be good there as that one is scored by Max McKinnon, the Aussie out of LSU.
Yeah, Shaman, we got 2 Michigan Staters here today.
Yes.
2 Michigan State bigs. And then you have Trey Kaufman-Renn, who obviously performed super well in the tournament.
And TKR shooting that 3 ball that was off the mark, and it's going to be from the wing now. On the perimeter, Cooper's going to hand it off with the left hand. The lob inside is going to be deflected and it's nearly stolen away, but it's touched out of bounds last by Namari Burnett, so it will keep it on this end of the floor. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, Shaman. Guys like Trimble and Burnett who don't have to score 20, 25 points, but they know the roles and accept the roles. That's a big thing when you're almost marketing yourselves to teams at the next level professionally to show that those roles can translate, correct?
Yes. You want to be able to show that you do have talent that can be accessible to a team, but not being the guy that's being dominant all the time. There's roles to be played in a lot of environments, and these guys have played roles. And so they may have to show throughout this game that they're capable of doing some things individually, but a lot of people will be seeing how they do in the roles that's being asked of them.
We mentioned one of the starters for Portsmouth Partnership is the 6'2 guard, Javante Campbell of Bowling Green from Muskogee, Oklahoma. You have Max McKinnon from Australia for LSU. You have also Rashawn Agee, the 6'8" from Texas A&M out of Chicago, Illinois. Then Carson Cooper, you saw moments ago, out of Michigan State. And Bryce Harris, the 6'4 guard from Howard and Brentwood, New York, who actually put a lot more in the 4-5 positions for the MEAC champs this past year.
Oh, yeah. Now, he's physical now. If you haven't seen Bryce Harris play, ladies and gentlemen, he's a really good basketball player, can do a lot of things from different places on the floor, just like that, shoot the 3, face up and shoot the 3, and then he can guard defensively. I mean, he's an Army Swiss knife, and he's somebody that a lot of people felt like should have had an opportunity to play without there being an exception. But now that there is an exception, is what he's going to do with his opportunity. He starts off with a great 3 right there on the face-up.
Oh, what a hook shot by Trey Kaufman-Renn of Purdue to make it a 5-2 game. And, Jordan, we saw it last year. I think one of the late placements at the end was R.J. Felton of East Carolina, and he ended up exploding this event.
Yeah, yes, I expect the same from Bryce Harris. He's a 99% corner 3-point shooter, so watch out for that. Ooh. And rebounding. Corner
3-point shooter, 99%. Shimon, what were you back in your day, 91.7?
Oh, man, I know it's a long time ago.
Okay.
99 percentile, so sorry.
Percentile. I'm sorry.
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Percentile.
65%.
Oh, but that's still
Yeah.
that's getting it done from the corner 3-ball spot.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
We got a foul there. It's a 5-2 lead for Portsmouth Partnership. Reminder: we have one more game tonight that's going to decide who also moves on to the semifinals. Portsmouth Economic Development taking on Mike Newman Incorporated. As we've got 6:44 to go in our opening frame. That foul was on Partnerships. Number 31, Rashawn Agee, another well-traveled player who was at New Mexico State, Casper College, and Bowling Green, as well as USC and Texas A&M. Texas A&M was his last destination. And talk about physical guys, he's got some toughness. I know Coach Bucky down there, Bucky McMillan, says he's got that dog in him as TKR with the right-hand shot. Oh, the little hesitation, and the floater was there for him.
He
Hey,
does that.
he's doing a great job of getting to his spots. Great pass by Harris.
Down low at the left, it's going to be a foul there and a couple of free throws coming.
Teammates.
What's the conversation like, guys, if you're wondering, Jordan, you starting and Shimon follow up. When you play against a guy you know so much, are you telling, do you think, and I know Shimon's going to chime in on this too as a player, are you telling him what he can do, like, hey, watch out for this little move? What are you thinking? And as a scout evaluator, what do you think's going through the minds as they see these guys that used to be teammates, now they're going head up?
I mean, as a player or as in terms of talent evaluation, you want to see them match up against each other. You want to see who has the competitive spirit, and especially if it's your teammate, you're going to pat him on the back after, but you want to make the mark, leave your mark in this game, especially so you know his tendencies.
Yeah, you want to go get him and say, I have bragging
Well,
rights.
yes, as the game gets further along and you start competing and this guy begins to hurt you, then you begin to tell your teammates, hey, man, he likes doing this, or cut this off. Don't allow him to get to this point or these spots on the floor because this is where he's most successful. So maybe at the beginning you may not say much because that is your friend and you just finished going to war with him.
Yeah.
But as the game continues to evolve, you eventually begin to give your teammates some scouting to help you be successful and get the win.
So one of the storylines we're following here at the PIT, it's Game 4 in the 72nd annual edition from Churchland High. As with the basketball right now, it's Norfolk Sports Club. Working on the defender, it's Jackson Kohler as he's operating against Agee. The fall-away shot got partially blocked, looked like there, and coming away at the board is, guess who? Carson Cooper, Michigan State Spartan. And there's been news out there, I don't know if you guys have followed it, about a potential rule change that could get him that fifth, that was at least circulating coming into this event. We shall see what happens because there's always constant changes and things at the NCAA. You can never predict what's going to happen next, right?
If they give them another fifth year, you're going to see a lot of these kids going back to school. From my understanding of what the NIL allows them to be compensated for playing. So, I mean, who knows?
But, Jordan, we saw just last year a player make history at the PIT, A.J. Hogard, who, by the way, played at Michigan State and Vanderbilt. He was the first guy to play in this event twice.
Yes, that's obviously not ideal, but you never know with the new NIL environment. Everything's changing. You just got to keep up with it.
Yeah, A.G. gets the layup there, and you're right. You never know what can happen with some of these things that are happening. But it was a headline I actually read this morning on one of the websites. I forget which one, so apologies for not giving them that shout-out or credit. But 8-4 is our count. All we know right now is he's playing at the PIT, and it's a 4-point advantage for Portsmouth Partnership as 4 points have been scored by Trey Kaufman-Wren to lead the way for them as we're getting ready to resume play after that latest whistle.
But what about the JUCO rule, Matt? The 2 years taking that off? That adds so much. Keep guys in college a lot longer.
No question.
That's what they're proposing?
The junior college, there's been some proposals about that, exactly, yeah. So there's a lot of things that are evolving as we speak here as Trey Kaufman-Wren continues to have the touch on his shots from 15 feet in and sometimes even out to 18 feet as it's another whistle on the floor going against the Norfolk Sports Club after cutting it to 2. 8-6 is our tally here as we get a substitution. I think we're about to have one, I thought.
I like the good old rules when I was in school. You get 5 years to play 4, regardless of where you go or what you do.
That makes the most sense, in terms of how a lot of this operates. And what's really interesting about today's game is we have multiple players. We mentioned it last night. Of the first 32 competitors, only 5 spent their entire career at one program. But we have guys like Trey Kaufman-Wren and Jackson Kohler, and in addition to them, we look at a player such as Carson Cooper, who's been in his same place the whole career, and Bryce Harris. So we have players that have had some stability, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, Seth Trimble, been at the University of North Carolina for 4 years.
Correct.
Carson Cooper. I think a lot of times being able to evaluate after basketball, a lot of times you get so entrenched in the immediate and and not looking at the future. I always say, well, you know, if you're a person that, you know, chooses to go to different institutions, for sure that, you know, if that works for you and your family, you should do those things. But I always think about when you have children one day and you want to take your children back to where you're known and where you lay the foundation and where your name rings. A lot of times when you're transitioning from these different schools, you don't have a place to call home. And even if you thought that you were going to be an NBA basketball player, I look at it from that perspective of, you know, being an NBA player, then you want people to support what you do and you want people to buy your shoes. And so when you have a university behind you, then that makes you that much more of a person that people are going to give you endorsement deals because, you know, you're known and celebrated at a place. So, I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons that come along with it, but basketball is eventually going to stop.
Absolutely, carving out legacy. We got more coming your way from the first quarter here. You're watching On the Spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
4:51 to go in the first quarter at the 72nd annual PIT. It is Norfolk Sports Club trailing Portsmouth Partnership 10-6 alongside Jordan Maka and Shaman Williams, Matthew Hatfield. As you see the fans, the scouts, the GM starting to fill the gym here at Churchland High School in Portsmouth. And so far, Jordan Trey Kaufman-Wren's been one of the most effective players on the floor out of Purdue with 6 points to start as we get ready to watch a couple of free throws from a guy battling inside on his team, and Felix Atpar from Tennessee.
It's no surprise there. He's just so fundamentally sound. That little push shot is incredible, and we're going to see more from him in this one, I'm sure. So, yeah, and just in terms of additional players to look out for, I think I'm looking for Corey Stevenson to make a big impact in this game, number 31. He was the NABC Reese's player of the game there and shot like 4 for 6 from 3. Super athletic, super rangy. Scouts are going to love his game.
Yeah, and I think one of the things people are wondering, is he going to be more that bigger shooting guard or small forward type in Stevenson's case? But you're right, that Reese's performance was something else out of Florida International. And a player I didn't get to highlight earlier, we talked about staying in one place, Shaman, at a school, was Zach Cleveland from Liberty. It's ironic that the second straight year we have a player named Cleveland on this Portsmouth partnership team. Last year it was Matthew Cleveland from Miami. No relation. But, hey, he's a player that comes from a school that's not as, ballyhooed as some of the other players out here, and his layup is good there for
Bryce Harris.
Bryce Harris, we watch him. Again, players from places like Liberty and Howard, they can come to the PIT and people come away walking saying, I didn't know he was that good.
Oh, yeah. I've had an opportunity to see Mr. Harris play over the years at the MEAC tournament, and he's always had an impact, and he's a big integral part in why they were able to make it to the NCAA tournament and get a win. And so, a lot of these guys you really cheer for and you champion because you want them rewarded for the hard work that they've done.
Yeah, echoing a lot of what you said, Coach Young, earlier. We had talking back there before this game. He saw him as well at Norfolk Scope during the MEAC tournament. He's one of those players that's not really a traditional replacement player. He's as good as a lot of these players as we see down on the floor. Slow to get up with the hit to the schnoz. Peter Suter from Miami of Ohio got hit in that facial area, but we see the team huddled up there as they're trying to get their bearings with this 5-point lead. And just under 4 minutes to go in the opening period as we'll see a couple of free throws now for Portsmouth partnership. And Suter from Miami of Ohio, an interesting story, guys, because in his case, played at Bellarmine ASUN all-freshman performer, and then it's Miami of Ohio team. All the talk was in March was, will they get into the big dance after they lost the game in the MAC tournament? They did, and then they won a game to advance in the big dance, but then it ended short against Tennessee and Akpara's group.
Yes, it would have been a travesty if they wouldn't have made the tournament just because they lost a game and not winning their tournament. I'm glad the NCAA got that correct because you need teams like that in the NCAA tournament, not just because you're cheering for maybe what people may call the Cinderella team, but this is a team that really earned it. And just because you lose one game, they shouldn't have the opportunity to go on the big stage and show what they're capable of doing. So hopefully the NCAA will start rewarding more mid-major schools in that regard and make some of these Power 5 schools compete and not just play teams for wins.
I absolutely agree, Shimon, that I know that you got to reward winning.
Yes.
So it comes down to that, and they definitely put a great product out there on the floor. And then if you look at the MAC, they had like a really, really historic year for the MAC conference.
Yes.
Like 2 or 3 teams over 20 wins.
That's a great point. In fact, we saw a couple of those guys from Akron yesterday competing in this event with the likes of Tavari Johnson, the point guard, of course, playing for Janet King. Tavari Johnson, the point guard, playing for, not Janet King, beg your pardon, playing for Portsmouth Sports Club. Amani Lyles, the center, playing for Janet King. Thank you there, Jordan, for that catch there as I got the teams wrong as we get a couple more free throws. Coming up now for a Portsmouth partnership. And Peter Suter, an interesting story because he's a guy, talking about his scoring a moment ago, he also saw during his college career his assists climbed each season and his foul-outs dropped. So you're watching him. He got better as a passer, and he wasn't committing as many fouls in these tight games defensively, part of players' growth.
Well, he became most definitely a better passer at Miami of Ohio because of the way that they shot the basketball.
Yes.
So if you you just reverse to somebody and they catch and shoot it, it most definitely will give you an assist. But they did a great job. I mean, they had a great offense. The ball moved flowingly, and they took threes, and so it made it exciting. And then that helps with your assist averages as well.
Ezra Osser making that free throw, the 6'9", 253-pound forward from Southern Cal in Atlanta, Georgia, who has some incredible strength and the unique ability to draw free throws. You saw there, and there's a flush inside as that one is going to be delivered. Another big-time dunk. Akpara making it happen.
TKR made the pass, man. He's doing a great job. He's been a stat
sheet stuffer, as our
Yes,
guy Dickie V would
that's
say.
what he
PT
is.
Peer, primetime performer. Here his ball's loose, picked up, and here they are on the move yet again as we watch Norfolk Sports Club get right to the cup and get it to go off the window for 2, and a timeout is burned.
It's interesting because I've been looking at the time and I've been wondering. I said, okay, usually it takes about 7 minutes when you get 2 rotations in your substitutions for guys to get comfortable in playing in this environment, and so.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when we come back from the break as we watch the highlights. You're watching the PIT on the spot, Norfolk 27. Stay tuned.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
72nd annual PIT from Churchland High School in Portsmouth. It is Norfolk Sports Club trailing Portsmouth partnership 15-13 with just over 2 minutes to go in the opening period. Matthew Hetfield here alongside Jordan Maka and Shimon Williams. Early thoughts, guys? It's been a pretty tight battle in this one.
Yeah, it's really physical contest. You see a lot from Kaufman Wren. A lot of different things we're seeing from the little push shot. We're seeing some assists. A little bit of everything.
And that one taken away by Themis Fulks out of UCF. Had 10 points, 8 assists for them in the NCAA tournament. That close loss to UCLA in the round of 64. But he was 11th in the country in assists per game, 6.7 this year, and another whistle. Because he's a guy that's going to try to make his name even more in his mark at this event. Because the guards, you get these bigs out here on the floor, Shimon, involved. He can create and do some things off the bounce.
Yes. As we were talking before we went to break, the 7-minute mark is usually the time when the guys become acclimated to the environment. As we begin to see the last 2-3 possessions, the ball and the tempo has picked up, and that's allowed them to create advantages and get fouled and get to the free throw line. So I anticipate that this game is going to get better, as Jordan alluded to at the beginning of the telecast, and I look forward to seeing some great basketball.
Folks, an old school pure point guard that Dawkins was able to pluck out of Milwaukee, where he started 32 games and averaged just under 15 points per contest, shot 80.5% from the foul line, and he makes the freebies there to even the score at 15 here. And now back with possession, we watch Javante Campbell out of Bowling Green operate. See the screen being set in a double team, and picking it up again, it's Fulks.
It's everywhere.
Oh, a little sweet sauce on that one, and the dunk there, back on the move. Namari Barnett from Michigan, who was known more for his three-point ability than getting above the rim and flushing it down, but they'll take it 17-15. Norfolk Sports Club, and we see the double again coming. It's knocked out of play, and that one, we'll see again, Fulks causing havoc out there.
Yes, what you're beginning to see, we saw it yesterday in the first telecast with the defensive intensity by the bigs. Most guards have been used to people down in the basketball. A lot of people down the basketball and play off the big, and then what we saw here in the first games is they're showing hard on the ball screens, and so that's making the guards a little uncomfortable.
And right now, Fulks is trying to get everybody involved here as they get it over to Nate Johnson, the 6'3 guard who's checked in from Kansas State out of Liberty Township, Ohio. Johnson has the basketball cross-court pass. There's Fulks for three, and he knocks it down.
Fulks is beginning to make an impact on this game. Defensively, with his assist, and he showed right there, three-point shot.
A guy that led the Horizon League in assists as well as the Sun Belt, career numbers of 1,658 points and 797 assists, and it's now a 4-point lead for Norfolk Sports Club. Bounce pass inside. Who they turn into? You know they're turning to. It's Carson Cooper. Kicks it out. Campbell's got it. Shot clock ticks down to 4. Long jumper. No good, but the follow almost there. Third effort. No, they won't get one this time. It's instead Nate Johnson on the move as Norfolk Sports Club pushes it. Fulks with the pass in the corner. Three-point shot. It's money.
Fulks again with an assist. It was a swing, hockey assist. Nate Johnson started it and finished it in the corner.
Boy, it feels
with
like
Namari Burnett.
Namari Burnett and Fulks, when they've checked in this game, a little bit of an energy has changed for them, Jordan, with that Norfolk Sports Club team.
Absolutely. So you saw, you were just calling it out, right? You said he's not much of a dunker option, and then he just goes and shoots his three-point shot.
Yeah,
so
find your specialty and make it happen.
Showing his versatility in all aspects of the game.
Foul on the floor, so back to the line goes Portsmouth partnership with Peter Suter, and they call a technical, and it's going to be against Felix Akpara, who gets the T.
Yeah, defensive 3 seconds.
So one free throw and then the ball with 16.8 seconds in this opening frame. One thing about Akpara, by the way, who was with that 3 second, noticing, talked about him earlier with his offensive rebounds. He was a guy that got better as a foul shooter. It was really an Achilles heel for him at Ohio State. And at Tennessee, they made him have some progress to where he got to 72% after being a guy that was almost the hack-a-shack late in games for opponents of Ohio State. So down the stretch here, we're going to see if that becomes a factor for any of these guys. But there's the fall-away shot, no good for Osar, but the offensive rebound again, trying to get away from those bigs. They kick it out to Suter. Little floater, give him the baseline, and it's there for Peter Suter. Quarter about to come to the close, and that's going to end it for one period of play. Norfolk Sports Club 22-17 on Portsmouth Partnership. They had a 10-0 burst. We'll see if that will carry over to the second quarter. You're watching through Prep Spin and On the Spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Norfolk Sports Club trailed by as many as 7, but 13 unanswered points gave them a lead of 22-17 as we hit the second quarter with Shamon Williams and Jordan Maka. Matthew Hafted here from the 72nd annual PIT. 64 the top college basketball seniors from around the nation showcasing their talents in front of all the evaluators here in the world of basketball. As attacking with the right hand, it's going to be Namari Burnett kicking it out. 3-point shot for Trey Kaufman-Renn.
Trey Kaufman-Renn, ladies and gentlemen. He's showing it all today. He's showing it all.
He played a lot around the basket at Purdue for Matt Painter because they had Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer, but we're seeing the perimeter skills. It's going to be a hit here. But Jordan, I know you wanted to talk about with Shamon the guard play really in this event, which is so essential, and Folks has been an energizer for them coming in for Norfolk Sports Club.
Yeah, what makes a Portsmouth champion? Really, I think it's a lot of point guard play. I think when you go into a tournament like this where it's a showcase, a lot of players are usually historically, not in this event so far, but historically have been looking for their own shots. But when you have a point guard who kind of controls pace, distributes the ball, it really is a game changer, right, Shamon?
Yeah, I mean, when you're in this position, a lot of times the ball is going to be in the point guard's hand, and he's going to be making decisions on, which way the offense goes and how it goes. The year we played in it in 1998, we actually won it. And Curtis Staples, who's sitting right there in front of us, we were just talking about it, and how the guards had to dominate the game and being able to close games. And we saw it yesterday. We talked about the last 4 minutes of the game, and you saw it with Council from Kansas and how he took over the game and, pushed his team to a win. And so a lot of times when you get to these close games, it's going to be those point guards that are going to be the decision makers in scoring or creating shots for others.
And even in defeats, Colin Boswell for Illinois has had a good assist-to-turnover ratio, keeping his team in position to have a chance at winning those games, as we see another foul on the floor, as it's been a pretty physical first half of play. Norfolk Sports Club in this one from the free throw line, 3 of 4, 7 of 9 for Portsmouth Partnership, who has gotten a bulk of its points there. They've yet to really do the damage from the three-point line, as we'll see more free throws coming for them here, as it's going to be Portsmouth Partnership at the line with Ezra Osser, the big man from Atlanta, Georgia. We talked about he played at Utah and then went to Southern Cal and has that mix of physicality and athletic ability at the 4 spot. I think some are wondering, you guys can touch on it, how he will translate in terms of covering and switching on guys when he has to away from the cup.
Yeah, agreed there. I think he just needs to show a little bit more versatility defensively to see what he can do. But if anything, I think that he'll show something. I think he'll show an ability to transition to the pro level.
58.3% from the field at Southern Cal, as he's able to make something happen at the line. 25-20 is the count, as we see now Norfolk Sports Club with Namari Burnett, open shooter. Not going to go down for Jackson Kohler, but the rebound comes out to Suter, and here they come pushing up the floor. Carson Cooper kicks it out. Suter for 3. It's short, and it's going to go the other way here for Norfolk Sports Club. That's what's hurting Portsmouth Partnership right now, not getting that three-point line to click for them, but at some point it could start falling.
Yes, it can. I mean, it's a great break. They ran the floor well, got the ball in the interior, and they kicked it out. Just a wide-open shot. But I think that's him getting acclimated to the NBA basketball as opposed to that Wilson that they used to playing with in college.
I actually agree with that so much. I was playing with the ball earlier. I don't know if anyone saw me, but yeah, it was a little bit difficult to grip. So you got to really get used to that. But once you do, you can come into a rhythm.
Yeah. So that was you. That was the guy we were chasing to get on the air. We had the delay start. That was you with the ball, huh? Getting some extra shots in, huh?
Oh, no.
Okay.
That wasn't
somebody else. All right.
It was 20 minutes before.
Oh, okay. Here it is with the basketball now. Seth Trimble. They move it to the left. Folks has got it. Tries to attack. Kicks it out. Behind the three-point line, you see the defense from Osser, who's trying to show that versatility you just touched on, Jordan, as he gets the whistle. But we're seeing some of those bigs have to cover more ground and space. It's been an interesting battle here so far in this one, where we've got no points off or turnovers yet for Portsmouth Partnership. But we could see a couple of plays swing things, as Trey Kaufman-Renn is the first guy to crack double figures with 11 so far. He out of Purdue for Norfolk Sports Club, as they'll go back to work here with the possession, folks. As you see the switch there, getting back Carson Cooper in the corner. Now with Jackson Kohler, his old teammate from MSU. The right hand, 2 on the shot. I'll have to hurry to get it off. It's Fulks to beat the horn, and that one's going to almost rim through, and it's tapped at by Zach Cleveland, who just checked in from Liberty. Suter's got it. Cleveland's calling for the ball, the Conference USA Player of the Year. And the ball's going to be knocked out of play, and as it was, a whistle also blown too. And he's going to catch, looks like that's Burnett, I believe, on that one, right? That was Burnett.
Yeah, Norfolk Sports Club has been doing a great job of running the offense and getting open shots. Portsmouth Partnership is having a little difficulty in getting non-contested shots. So they're going to execute their offense a little bit better, be a little bit more physical on their screens to allow their guards to have space.
I stand corrected. They actually called that one not on Burnett, but rather Trey Kaufman-Wren. So now we have another whistle. 25-20 is the count, as we'll see Portsmouth Partnership inbound it with Zach Cleveland. Triple-double he had back on February 7th, Jordan, against Missouri State. 19 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. And see what he does to impact this game, as it's Max McKinnon for 3, rebounded inside for Norfolk Sports Club, Jackson Kohler.
Just tremendous versatility, triple-double.
We've had, I think, 3 or 4 players we've already highlighted this year that have got that. There's the dunk on the follow as Akbara with the quick leaping ability, his activity.
Goodness, man, what a play. Offensive rebound, ball above your head, go right back up and dunk the basketball with 2 hands. Great agility and great ability.
Yes. He's got those working. And you know what? I think Akbara's got some, you don't think of him as a guy that's going to shoot, but I think he's got a little deceptive skill to his game where he's still scratching what he can be. I don't think he's tapped out or maxed out by any means.
Right.
I agree with you as well.
Sideline violation.
And I go back to just last year, we watched in this event as a sideline violation is called. We saw a guy in Jemai Mashak who was known as just that junkyard dog defensively. You wouldn't have come into this event or even walked out saying, oh, he's necessarily an NBA guy, but he made an NBA roster this year and got in games.
Yeah.
Sure did. Hard work pays.
Yeah, be the hard hat guy. Blue collar efforts are rewarded. 6:50 to go in the first half. It's Fulks with the basketball spin move as it poked away from behind by Osser. And here is a 2-on-1 chance. Osser with the handles goes to the basket, couldn't get to finish, and Kohler gets the board. Now a chance to run back the other way with Fulks. Themis gets it on the move. Burnett with the bounce. Now Akbara kicks it back out. Fulks looks to set things up. Here's a 3-ball from the wing. It's going to pinball out for Jackson Kohler, and the board is corralled by Osser, who throws it up ahead to Rashawn Agee. He hesitates for a second, now throws it inside, leaning in. McKinnon gets the shot to fall from Brisbane, Australia. Max McKinnon, who started 30 of 31 games for LSU with a team best 15.7 points per game for the Tigers.
Nice little floater.
At the foul line, the jumper is there for Namari Burnett, national champ with Michigan. His final 3 years there after the first one playing at Texas Tech and the second one at Alabama. So Burnett getting in the scoring column.
What an incredible team they had this year, guys. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, my goodness. That team was just a well-oiled machine, and hats off to Dusty May and his entire staff. I know a couple of those assistants fairly well. Drew Williamson, who's from around here. People know him at Old Dominion. Of course, Hakeem Miskine. Yeah, they've done a great job with what they did in the portal, and just there was no real weakness on that team. We'll talk more about that as we move things along. It's Norfolk Sports Club up by 7 at the PIT from Churchland High School, and you're watching on Prep Spin and On the Spot, Norfolk 27.
Cool.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by The Auto Connection.
Auto Connection helping us bring you the 72nd annual PIT from Churchland High School on the spot Norfolk 27 and through Prep Spin as we got free throws now coming for Norfolk Sports Club. At the line, Themis Folks out of Central Florida and Winston-Salem, North Carolina, taking on Portsmouth Partnership. And as we went to break, guys, we were talking about the national champions, Michigan Wolverines. They've gotten Amari Burnett in this event, who's already got himself 7 points in this event. They did have an injury during the season after their win. I think it was actually during the win against Illinois, LJ Case on backup. But that team just had so many weapons, whether it was Mara inside, Yaxel Lindeborg, of course. You think of the performance of Marez Johnson, who came in from Illinois, Gale, and the freshman. I mean, but the guy that was the MOP, Shimon, Elliot Cadeau, he really helped them down the stretch.
Yes, Elliot did a great job. I mean, he orchestrated, he played, he distributed, he was a leader. He took the big shots. I mean, I was so happy for the young man. He was outstanding. Elliot Cadeau has always been one of my favorites. He and I had had multiple conversations while he was at the University of North Carolina. And I thought that he just had an opportunity to showcase what he was. Really, really happy for him. A lot of times when those young men are in those environments or in those positions, you don't understand how tough it can be, especially if you feel like people aren't celebrating you. And to see a young man like that have the success that he had, I'm really happy for him and his family.
Here's the pass over to Campbell trying to thread the needle, got taken away, and here's Nate Johnson lobbing it up. Getting to it is Akpara, but his feet are out of bounds. Did you have him in your bracket, Jordan, or did you have somebody else winning the whole thing? Be honest. Michigan, yeah. Did you have him all the way?
I did actually have
Did you? Good job by you.
Yeah.
Good job. Had Michigan all the way. But that was a heck of a run for them. And they took down UConn in the title game, who got to the championship round for the third time in 4 years. And it is great to see some of these players, after having that Final Four run, like a Boswell and Burnett, come out here and compete in Portsmouth.
Yeah, for sure. And like you guys were saying about Cadeau, I just felt like at North Carolina, he would eventually have been the guy. I think that with playing with R.J. Davis, you have to take a step back to a senior typically, and that's something I think happened. And once the ball was put in his hands, like you said, at Michigan, he really showed what he could do. He's a New Jersey guard. I'm from New Jersey, so I've seen him. I saw him at the high school level, and he really had a different gear in him, and he showed that this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can say. I mean, he was just outstanding. Took the right shots, made the right plays, and even when you're not, I think the first game, he was 2 for 12 in the first half, but he had taken the right shot.
Yes.
A lot of times, it's not that you just miss shots, because you're going to miss shots. Are you taking the right shots? And as a point guard, to watch him take the right shots, even though they weren't going in, you knew eventually if those shots were to go in, then this game could get bad. And eventually they began to get bad in that first game. And then he had the confidence going into the championship game, and he made plays. I mean, he made play after play after play after play. And when you look at those types of things, when you start to evaluate people, and you say, well, okay, who can make plays? Then you begin to see, what you would start talking about being pros.
Yeah.
When you can have an impact on a game like that in the way that he did, you start looking at him and saying, hey, this kid need to be on some people's NBA draft boards.
Absolutely. Some winning plays in crunch time. We'll see some more exciting guards coming up in our Portsmouth Economic Development matchup with Mike Duman in corporate, as a shot is knocked down from behind the arc. That one done from Suter making it happen. He and Cleveland from the outside are starting to try to help Portsmouth Partnership get back in this one. But the next game coming up, we've got A.J. Storr from Ole Miss, Quadir Copeland from NC State, also Xavion Lee from Florida, Anthony Roy of Oklahoma State, Jordan Riley of East Carolina, and Boopy Miller of SMU, who was a threat all year long on the ACC. And everybody is just clamoring to watch Robbie Avila from St. Louis with the goggles and see what he can do out here coming up in our nightcap tonight.
Yeah, we got another school that's participating that has 2 players from the same team. I won't say the school's name, but
Oh, that's a team from Raleigh, isn't it? It's got to be with
Yeah, we
Copeland
got
and
two
Van Allen
schools.
Lubin. Yeah, we know how that rivalry goes, Jordan. With the Michigan guys won't talk about Ohio State, and those guys from Carolina won't talk about that team in Durham or the team in Raleigh. It's how this works out.
Yeah. And this is quite a guy, too. Copeland is really going to be a fun watch in the next game.
Open court ability as Suter got called for the foul, and they're trying to hype each other up there. We see the coaches. Craig Frost, one of the coaches there on the sideline. Craig Frost along with Jim Corrigan and Shanice Sims.
So crafty.
ugh, great job right there.
Ever since Fulks came into the game, things started to turn for Norfolk Sports Club. He's got 10 points to go with 2 assists in this one, a perfect 4 of 4 at the line, and now Portsmouth Partnership passing out to McKinnon for 3. It won't go down. The rebound is yanked down by Akpara, and here comes Norfolk Sports Club behind Fulks.
Really good pass by Bryce there.
Looking to attack on Zach Cleveland. He's going to lean in. The shot won't go, and the rebound collected by McKinnon. McKinnon on the move. He had over 1,600 points in his college career, 4 seasons that he played. 2 at Elon, 1 at Portland before closing out at LSU. As we see close-up of one of the big men here in this event, Norfolk Sports Club's Felix Akpar having a chat with Corey Stevenson. We've yet to see Stevenson really get going, but he's a player that can have that sudden bursts of excitement for his team. And we'll talk more about that as we roll it along here. It's the PIT at Churchland High School. Norfolk Sports Club up by 7. More coming away. You're watching On the Spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
'72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament, as it is Norfolk Sports Club on top of Portsmouth Partnership, 33-26 with 2:52 remaining in our first half. Have ourselves a good one. Trey Kaufman-Renn leading the way for Norfolk Sports Club with 11. Demas Fulks, though, also very influential. Bryce Harris, the top scorer for Portsmouth Partnership so far in this first half. As we wait to get a couple of free throws now for Zach Cleveland. He out of Bloomington, Illinois, and a member of the Liberty Flames in Rich McKay's group. Cleveland had over 1,200 points, 749 rebounds in his career at Liberty. Creates the offense, heck of a defender. And I think some wondering, guys, is more of maybe that 4-man wherever he plays his pro ball. That's a lot of the thought with him, although he's playing some on the perimeter today. We're seeing a lot of his skills away from the basket as we wait another free throw for Zach Cleveland.
A lot of times you play to your need, your team need, so it's good to get him out here playing with a lot of bigger players and see exactly what he can do.
Well, of course, the other thing, too, with basketball these days, there's so much more positionless
Yes.
with the way the game goes as far as having that strict label that's attached to you.
True.
I always wondered, do they call it positionless because they want the bigs to be out on the perimeter? Because I've never seen them put the point guard down there to post up.
That's a good point. As a three-pointer is knocked down from Jackson Kohler, Michigan State Spartan, striking from the corner.
I think it's just like a switch everything defense. That's really.
And to that point, too, the switching defense is right on the money as we see the follow that's good there for Bryce Harris. Mark Jackson, when he did it, Shimon, he just backed his way down there from the post.
Right.
He wasn't sat down there in the low block for the Indiana Pacers when he was that guy. Trying to back down in the point spot. As it's going to be with the left-hand Trimble getting into the lane. Count it, plus the foul for the Tar Heel. Seth Trimble out of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Here it is again. Look at Trimble getting to a spot for the hoop and harm.
Yeah, that was finally a good drive by him. Got in the paint and was aggressive in taking the shot and got fouled and finished. The first time or maybe the second time that he's had an opportunity to take a shot. I think he's going to have to get comfortable being outside of the UNC system and things being ran for you and things like that. So I think he has the aggressiveness to do it and an ability. But a lot of times you're kind of having to break what you've done for 4 years in a matter of a few days.
So very true. It's just his second shot attempt of the half, in fact, is I think just about everybody on the floor for them. He and Nate Johnson, only guys I think not to get, and Corey Stevenson not to get multiple shots up. So 5 guys have gotten that up. Meanwhile, for Portsmouth Partnership, they've got everybody but Cleveland to get multiple shot attempts in this first half. So Sharon Noel, Norfolk Sports Club up by 9. There's the cut inside, a little head fake, and the basket is not going to be there on the attempt for Bryce Harris and TKR. Kaufman-Wren gets the board. Minute and a half to go in this first half. Here's Themis Folks getting downhill, but it's going to go the other way. Offensive foul back to
now
Portsmouth Partnership.
These are the things that you begin to watch and evaluate, and Themis is doing a great job of exploiting it. But if you watch it, if your IQ is there, you have to realize that he is going left every time. And so when you begin to evaluate the game, you have to learn, okay, this guy is killing me going left.
We'll sit on left and take it right. It's time for a break. You're watching On the Spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
90 seconds remaining in the first half. 39-30 is the count for Norfolk Sports Club leading Portsmouth Partnership as they bring it up the floor now.
Harris was playing the point guard position.
Does everything.
Does everything.
Yeah.
Utility guy.
Swiss Army knife.
That's it.
There's the handoff. Max McKinnon's got it. Dribbling to the right.
Oh.
Almost lost the handle, but it's going to be a foul. Coach Frost and Coach Corrigan and
Coach Frost did a lot of jumping right there, but if you use physics right there, it could have helped him not jump so high, because if the guy had got all ball, the ball would have gone down. So as he got his arm, the ball went up. So you could have saved yourself a lot of jumping, but you don't learn that until you get to the NBA.
McKinnon at the line to shoot. Max McKinnon raised his numbers to 20.4 points per game over the final 5 contests. He had 24 double-figure outings, including a 34-point performance and a double overtime win at Ole Miss back on February 25th. That was one of the highlights for LSU, one of the few and rare teams in the SEC not to make the NCAA tournament, because that league has so many and the behemoths in the Southeastern Conference these days, much like the Big 10 and Big 12 we're seeing, as the free throw is good. And TKR, Kaufman-Wren inbounds the basketball. Here comes Seth Trimble to direct the show. Trimble on the right-hand side. Gets the screen from Kaufman-Wren, gets into the lane. Couldn't get the finish there, and the rebound is pulled in by Cooper up ahead. 2-on-1, but it goes off the leg of Osser and back the other direction with just under a minute to go in this first half.
Sloppy.
Yep.
Needs to trip.
Nice break. They got to stop. They missed the shot. Going down on the break, you got to finish that, especially if you want to cut the lead.
Kaufman, Wren, and Fulks have combined for 21. They're the only two double-figure scorers in this game.
Ball screen.
There's Fulks across the way, getting out to him on that catch. Kohler being guarded for a minute by Cooper. There's that matchup we talked about, the Michigan State guys. There's a three-pointer that's well short for Fulks. Coming away with it now, it's going to be McKinnon. Let's see what they can set up here for this final possession potentially of the half. Portsmouth Partnership trailing by 7. McKinnon kicks it out over to Suter with the right hand. Fall-away shot is going to be short off the front end of the rim, rebounded by Trimble. Here they come on the move. Trimble, as the shot clock and game clock are about a second apart. Here is Kaufman Wren for 3, and it's going to go above the basket, and now shot clock turned off with 17.5 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, nobody cared about the possession and getting the last shot of the half, so you could tell that you're in an all-star environment.
Absolutely. You're not hearing that one shot as you get the direction from Marwan Sarhan, who, going back to our doppelganger, Shimon, we mentioned it yesterday with Tanner and Oglesby. He could be the Rudy Gobert doppelganger in the face if you saw that a little bit.
Yeah.
Going back to our lookalikes this week.
I most definitely understand.
2.9 seconds to go in the half. But Gobert's a little busy right now getting ready for the playoffs, so he's not here at the moment.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He has a tough matchup with the Joker, so he has to get all his rest.
Yes. Quite a matchup.
That's one of the anticipated matchups from the upcoming NBA playoffs. Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, who have met the last couple of times in the playoffs that were doozies. I know 2 years ago, that 7-game series, and the year before that, Denver on their championship run knocking Minnesota out, and what was a much more hard-fought first-round series than what the final margin will tell you. But we got free throws now for McKinnon to try to get Portsmouth Partnership within 2 possessions at the break, and McKinnon's first foul shot is swished. One more to come for him, as he's now got 3 of his 7 points at the line.
I was just about to say that about his scoring. When you talked about his scoring going up over the years, I would like to take a look at his free throw attempts, because he's done a great job in this game of being able to get himself to the free throw line.
To that point, 82.5% for his career, 93 of 106 at LSU, the former CAA Rookie of the Year, Max McKinnon, who played at Elon for a couple years before going to Baton Rouge. Here's the inbound, chance to beat the horn now for Corey Stevenson from half court. Oh, off the side of the backboard, and we've reached intermission at Churchland High School. It's Norfolk Sports Club up 39-34 over Portsmouth Partnership. We'll step aside. We've got some halftime interviews and more coming your way. You're watching the PIT on the spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Back here at the 72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, getting ready for the second half as Norfolk Sports Club and Portsmouth Partnership are squaring off here with a 39-34 lead in favor of Norfolk Sports Club, alongside former UNC great and NBA guard Shammond Williams and Jordan Maka. I am Matthew Hatfield. Thoughts on the first half, Jordan? You got the numbers in front of you. A couple of guys stood out.
Yeah, so Trey Kaufman-Wren was killing it on both sides of the floor, and especially assisting the ball. It was a new a wrinkle that I really like to see in his game. Demas Folks also was doing a lot for the Portsmouth Sports Club. He came in and just really brought the really good energy. Bryce Harris for Portsmouth Partnership really also was affecting the game in a lot of different ways. Has 2 steals. Mac McKinnon was getting to the line a lot, and then Peter Suter.
Peter Suter from Miami of Ohio, which made that amazing run this year, undefeated, the longest, last team to lose a game this year in men's college basketball. And Shammond, so far the shooting has not been outstanding, a combined 4 of 19 from 3 of the 2 teams. But we watch an attack here to the basket, as that one's going to be missed by Campbell inside. Trying to chase it down before it goes out of bounds is Rashawn Agee of Texas A&M. But as we've seen in a few of these games so far, that 3-point pendulum can swing in a hurry.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. A lot of times the game changes here at the beginning of the second half. That was great defense right there by Rashawn Agee against Seth Trimble. They got a switch, and he did a great job defensively. And there goes that guy, ladies and gentlemen, Bryce Harris, Howard University, with the 3 at the top of the key.
Yeah, up top, the Brentwood, New York native getting it done as he buries it. Remember, he had 21 points in the loss to eventual national champ Michigan in the NCAA tournament. I think that game, the way Howard was scoring, especially early in that game, opened some eyes. Like, hey, these guys from the MEAC, the Bison, they're for real. They're not some pushover, if you will, when they got to the big dance.
Yeah, and for those who don't know where Brent was located, it's in Long Island, right across the street from Central Islip.
That's right. 2-point game here as we near 9 minutes to go in this opening period. Folks, with the Rockets, you see Agee coming out to disrupt him.
All right, here he is.
Folks tries to sidestep 3. That one's going to be off the side of the rim, but trying to save it. You see the hustle from McKinnon, and it's knocked out of play. It's going to go the other way. Trey Kaufman-Wren thought he was going to get them to
change it.
Yeah.
Great hustle, though.
Just under 9 minutes left in this third quarter as we watch the inbound with McKinnon.
Score right here. We'll tie the game up.
So far in this one, we've had only 1 lead change and 1 tie. We've had a bunch of them in our other games. Earlier, if you missed some of the action on Wednesday, it was Portsmouth Sports Club Escape and Sales Systems 78-75. Jenny King beating Rounds Landscape 97-92. And earlier today in our consolation game that we brought you here on Prep Spin and on the Spot Norfolk 27, we had a good one with Sales Systems outlasting Rounds Landscape 94-90, and it goes back the other way. An empty trip here. It's been more of a, dare we say, a little defensive struggle. Neither team really all that impressive with the shooting of the Norfolk Sports Club at 48.4% to Portsmouth Partnerships 33.3%. We'll see who gives that team the jolt they're looking for. Perhaps be it someone that subs in as we watch again Portsmouth Partnership try to get a finish inside, and McKinnon does.
Harris with a steal and delivers the basketball. Now we have a tie game.
Third steal of the game.
39-all, we're even. Fultz dribbling it up the floor. Goes to his left, bounces it, and there's the attack and finish with the dunk there. Seth Trimble goes above the rim, and the net is stuck. They'll have to get that down the next trip with a swish, 41-39. Using the left hand going against the defense. Almost had the and one, but a couple of free throws nonetheless for Javonte Campbell. As here's that find again as he goes baseline, and Trimble flushes it down.
Yes, great execution right there on the ball. Great penetration right there by Folks, and he was able to find Trimble cutting back door, and he finished with two-hand slam at the rim, showing off that athletic ability.
How about Javonte Campbell? The story with him a season ago, guys. He was third-team All-MAC last year. You say, what's the big deal with that? He finished the season with 2 broken hands. He broke his right hand on January 7th against Western Michigan and then proceeded to break his left hand on March the 1st against Ball State. I mean, this kid's just an absolute warrior, fearless type of player. And oh, by the way, Campbell's 97 steals this year, third most in a single season in MAC history. The year before, he was fourth in the nation in steals.
Wow. Yeah, he started the game off with a steal. So,
but can you play with 2 broken hands? That's unbelievable.
Undoubtedly, you can. I mean, he showed the ability to do it, right?
Rebounded by Cooper.
Yes.
Cooper now has it. Dribbles to his right.
Uh-oh. Harris.
They had AG with a slip, and they go to Harris, and there's going to be a whistle against Norfolk Sports Club as Fultz puts his hands up and says, oh, that's on us. Yeah, it is on you.
Norfolk Sports Club foul charge to number 12, Amos Fultz.
He was in a bad way.
We'll see if Akpara.
As Shaq would say, barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken, no question about it. We'll see if Akpara can get revved up again as TKR gets the rebound.
One of my players love that line, barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken.
Seth Trimble goes to the basket. It's going to be a moving screen. They catch Norfolk Sports Club's Felix Akpara. We just mentioned it a moment ago. You know, he came out of the gate really active in this one, and he's kind of cooled off a bit. Has the now 4 fouls.
Number 40, Felix Akpara is 4th.
And again, 6 fouls, and you're done here. We saw Malik Renew foul out last night from Miami. The basketball, it's going to be a bounce over to Carson Cooper. Cooper backing down against Akpara. All-the-way shot, a little
defense
short.
by Akpara.
Really good defense.
Burnett gets the board. 1-point game here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
This is who the guy you need to give the ball to right now.
Hoffman Wren throws it over top, and then Akpara drawing the foul.
Partnership foul charge.
How big of a skill set, guys, is it? I'll let you go first, Shimon, and Jordan, you can follow if you want, on being able to draw fouls. I now see more. I didn't used to see it in the box score. You know, they had the draw fouls.
Yes.
How much, when you as a coach, because you've coached college ball on both the men's and women's side of things, Shimon, how much are you looking at that when the stat sheet comes your way?
Well, you want to play an aggressive style of basketball. When you're able to draw fouls, a lot of times you're looking at people being aggressive, being physical, attacking. You know, so when you do those 3 things, it allows you to draw more fouls because most people don't want to play defense. Offensively, you want to move the ball from side to side to get their legs tired and then try to attack them. And so usually that allows you to draw more fouls.
How about from the evaluation standpoint, Jordan? You looking at it a whole lot?
Yeah, so traditional basketball, like the coach will take you out after 2-3 fouls, right, in the first half. If you have a guy who can just pick up ticky-tack fouls along the perimeter, that's such a valuable piece. You get in the bonus early with 10 minutes left, and that totally will settle in your offense. And foul trouble really plays a key role in a lot of games.
Amari Burnetto had 7 points early on in this game in the first half, gets it in, and then it's going to go the other way as they give it back.
Turnover. Not knowing the rules, going to the backcourt to receive the basketball as you would if you were playing in a college basketball game. And those are not the rules here. NBA rules in some aspects, in the majority. It's interesting because Campbell was just about to do the same thing that the opposing team did. So,
well, you'll learn quickly in an event like this, otherwise you'll be headed to the bench, as that's the 21st turnover of our game.
How about number 22? Out of bounds.
So once again, goes back the other directions. Burnett will be putting it into play. Finds Trimble. 41-40, Norfolk Sports Club in front. Their biggest lead was 9. Portsmouth Partnership's largest advantage was 7.
So, Shimon, what are you looking to see from Seth right now to really turn this game around?
To be comfortable creating shots for himself and others, get a rhythm, impact the game defensively like he's more than capable of.
Yes.
Ensure his ability to catch and shoot the basketball.
Yeah, I haven't seen much from the catch and shoot standpoint from him yet.
And so, like we alluded to earlier in the telecast, a lot of times you're so used to doing what your offense has done, and you've been doing this for 4 years. And so when you get into this environment where you're learning a new offense and you're doing different things, you're hoping to show people that you're capable of being something different than just what you've always been, to help impact the games. And I always say it's always good to learn how to run people's offense, but eventually it's going to end. and you got to be able to, have I call it transferable skills. It doesn't only succeed in the environment that you're in, but it succeeds in any environment that you go in.
After a couple of free throws by Trey Kaufman-Renn, back the other way, we see another foul. It'll be Portsmouth Partnership headed to the charity stripe. 43-40 is our count with just over 6 minutes to go in the third quarter of this matchup. That foul for Norfolk Sports Club is on Felix Akpara, and that's his 5th. So I definitely think he's going to be headed to the bench here now with the 5 as the coaches over there, Craig Frost and Jim Corrigan, as well as Shanice Sims, chatting it up. And now the first free throw is good for Max McKinnon. Something you brought up in the first half, too, with McKinnon, Shimon, his smooth shooting stroke and high basketball IQ. He has a know-how, which is also a skill, too, to get himself to the free throw line, not just making these free throws. He knows how to get himself there.
Oh, yeah. Usually being a great free throw shooter, you're used to this. But sometimes, like I know that there's a difference in the NBA basketball and the college basketball, and so not having the familiarity with it sometimes could bother you because of, like Jordan said earlier, it's slicker. You said it was slicker, right?
Yes.
So not having the traction that you would have in your hand, it feels a little bit uncomfortable for most until you get used to it.
From the legs dribble with Corey Stevenson, who's still looking for his first points. This one, the nice find inside and the finish for Jackson Cole. That was executed flawlessly.
Yes, I called out Corey early in the game, but we haven't seen much of him in this one. I think he's played like kind of the least minutes in this game. So
there's a steal for Nate Johnson, and he's going to get to the hoop for a basket, and that's Nate's first field goal, and we get a timeout on the floor, so we'll be taking one, too, with 5:46 to go in the third quarter. Portsmouth Partnership trails Norfolk Sports Club 47-42 at the 72nd Annual PIT, and you're watching On the Spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
The Auto Connection helping us bring you this coverage wall to wall from Wednesday to Saturday. It is currently Thursday in game number 4 of the 72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament as Norfolk Sports Club leads Portsmouth Partnership 47-42 with 5:40 to go in the third quarter alongside Jordan Maka and former NBA guard and North Carolina ACC Tournament MVP Shimon Williams. It's Matthew Hatfield here as the Norfolk Sports Club tries to get themselves to the semifinals coming up on Friday night. Winner of this game takes the winner of the next game that is coming your way at around 8 o'clock Eastern tonight with Portsmouth Economic Development versus Mike Duman Incorporated. As going to the deck with the basketball, getting rid of it though, was Rashawn Agee of Texas A&M. We've not talked a whole lot about him, the Chicago, Illinois forward, who was really solid in his time at Southern Cal, but also with the Aggies of A&M. 5 seasons Division I college basketball, had almost 1,000 rebounds and 1,556 points. As backing down now, it's Osser, his teammate, and it's going to be a violation or a foul. I think the foul came before the shot clock, didn't it?
Got to beware of time and score there, though.
And they're discussing it, a couple of our officials here, and they're going to call the foul, in fact, before the horn sounded.
Having discipline right there at the end, knowing where the shot clock was, it wasn't even worth the try to even tie it up. Just keep your hands straight up and make him take a tough shot, and maybe he doesn't take a shot by the time the shot clock goes off.
How often have we seen it at all levels of basketball? Pro, college, high school, that foul's committed right before the shot clock goes off, and it can be a demoralizing kick in the you-know-what. Free throw is good on the first one. One more coming now for Asar, the 6'9", 253-pound forward from Southern Cal, who at Utah, he drew 7.4 fouls per 40 minutes that season in the 24-25 campaign to rank 5th nationally in that category. So talking about our point earlier of the skill of being able to draw fouls, he's a guy that's mastered that in a lot of ways.
That's incredible for a big man, especially when you think about it. Like they're not going to have their ball in their hands the whole time. So to draw that many fouls means he's doing something on the glass. He's getting the ball.
He's extremely physical.
Yes.
And so he's creating a lot of contact. And you watch the way he plays. He puts his body on people. He's not shying away from contact. He's creating contacts, and so you can understand why he's in the position he's in when you start talking about drawing fouls.
Yeah.
Inbounding from the sideline now, Corey Stevenson gets it in. Namari Burnett. The right-handed dribble. Kolar gets it over to Kaufman Renner, who spins. Push shot doesn't go, and a rebound there by Zach Cleveland, starting to get more involved in the flow.
He hesitated a bit there, Kaufman Wren, but that's the shot you do want, that little float shot.
We were wondering a little bit about Kaufman Wren. He played so much near the basket, about the away from the basket skills for him, or would there be any limitations to his game? But today he's come out and really was a tone setter in this one for his squad. The first guy to crack double digits. Is now a 3-point game. Norfolk Sports Club trying to keep Portsmouth Partnership from drawing any closer.
Yeah, he's trying to show that he can shoot the three-pointer. He's got 3 attempts in this one. Haven't seen too much there yet, but we'll see.
Going right down the lane with the block from behind there by Bryce Harris, and then there's a foul, and Osar puts his hands up. And Agee also discussing with him.
Yep.
Those two trying to get on the same page defensively.
Great offensive rebound by TKR. He's showing himself be active. He understands rebounding, playing at Purdue, and he's allowed himself, like you said, was leading the team in scoring in the first half, and he's back at the free throw line again, looking for 2 by just being active.
How many great rebounders have they had over the years? You think back to Glenn Big Dog Robinson. Of course, a couple years ago they had the big men in their national runner-up loss to UConn and Zach Edey. But I think one of the highlight moments of this year's NCAA tournament was that game winner he had in the 79-77 Sweet 16 victory over Texas, which came from the first 4 all the way to the Sweet 16 in this year's tourney. And it's a 5-point game again, 49-44 as we tick under 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. With the rock now, Agee passes to the wing. Zach Cleveland trying to find somewhere to go with it.
It was such a close game, right, Matt? It was just like incredibly narrow margin. Purdue was fighting really hard in that one. Texas just brought everything they had.
Yeah, they escaped that first game in the first 4 against NC State. And sometimes you get out of that first 4 game when we see these teams go on that magic carpet ride, don't we? Every year.
Mark,
no question. Get a rhythm. It's called a rhythm.
Yeah.
Get a rhythm, and then if you're able to capitalize off that rhythm, it really gives you an advantage.
Of course, one of them that comes to mind when VCU had its magical run to the Final Four. We've had a couple teams from the Commonwealth get to the Final Four. George Mason in 2006 as well, as there's a rebound inside for Kaufman Wren. Gets rid of it. Now Nate Johnson looking to do something with it out of Kansas State, the Akron transfer.
The young men from Michigan State, they do a great job of posting up. If the guards would enter the ball into the post, a lot of times they will get the ball back and put themselves in the position to score easier. They're getting so much paint touching on their post-ups that if you just enter the ball into the post, you will have an opportunity to get a free shot.
Shimon, isn't the post-entry fade a lost art in today's game, right?
It could be. It could be. But it's interesting that the teams that were in the 2 final teams in the NCAA tournament had good interior presence.
No question about it.
So you can talk about the 5 out all you want to. The champion and the run-up had interior presence.
They did it. Damar and Merez Johnson along with Terrace Reed for UConn, and they were as good as any bigs throughout the whole tournament.
No question, and no question. And then you have these 2 young men that play for Michigan State who do a great job of sealing. And so a lot of times, so many people, like you said before, it could be a lost art, but if you enter the basketball, so many people are used to looking at the basketball. Now you just get the ball back. And so you're using old technique against new style basketball, which will allow you to have some success.
Well, Kohler with those good hands and excellent footwork, he combines that by scoring a low post, but also that short corner spot. He's got the passing ability, too. Here's one that blew me away, guys. Jackson Kohler, the first player from the state of Utah to play for Tom Izzo.
How about that?
How about that?
And Tom Izzo does a great job. I'm a Tom Izzo advocate. I mean, he has some great assistant coaches in Sonny Washington and Thomas Kelly, and I love the way that he coaches. I love what he stands for. I love the intensity that he coaches with. I love the accountability that he presents each and every day on the court. And if I ever have an opportunity to be a head coach, that would be some of the things I most definitely would adapt in my coaching, in being, holding people accountable and being firm.
And I like, too, also on that staff, too, brought in a former head coach in Doug Wojcik, always comfortable in his own skin just to keep getting fresh ideas and things. And you got a couple players from the DMV this year that helped as freshmen, and Cam Ward and Jordan Scott, two-time state player of the year from South Lakes.
Yes.
Of course, his parents were players in their day, Christy Winter Scott and Jerome Scott, but definitely got it done with the mix of vets and youth, which I think, Jordan, that's how you build in college basketball today. Certainly the portal's a big deal, but do you have the vets and also those young guys that can pop early on?
Absolutely. Cohen Carr, a high flyer, right? The NFL's looking for him.
Greenville, South Carolina, baby. Went to high school at Legacy Academy there in Greenville. But, the one thing that I do appreciate about Tom Izzo, he's not entrenched in today's basketball and having to take transfer. He's building a culture, and that's why he's been consistent in having a culture, because he does it his way. He understands what wins. And if you look each and every year, Tom Izzo's team is going to beat it. If you don't have them in your Elite Eight, then you're going to lose. You're going to lose some points in the pool.
You are. A couple of banks from Trimble and Suter, and then going glass for that one. It was Carson Cooper of MSU. He played for Izzo Spartans in East Lansing, and trying to answer right back is Namari Burnett. That in-state rival we talked about earlier. You can't talk about UNC saying Duke or Duke saying UNC. Michigan State, that rivalry lives there too. And that was a fierce battle this year when you had Fears and Cadeau in that first matchup, then the rematch. And the state of Michigan's got to love its basketball right now because they have two power programs that are, among the top in the sport.
No question. There's a lot of basketball there in the state of Michigan. And to think one of the best players in the country was able to get out of Michigan in Acuff to go to Arkansas.
Yeah,
and so what if he was, he would have stayed? So when you start talking about two great programs, Michigan State has always been one of those staple programs with Tom Izzo. And then you look at what Dusty May is doing at Michigan. It's very competitive, and I'm pretty sure those weekends in Ann Arbor and Lansing are full with talent.
No question about it. Burnett hitting the first one more, coming for the guy that made 63s and piled up 1,197 points.
Speaking of Acuff, Shimon, what did you think of Arkansas, and what do you think their limitations were? I guess it was obvious it was defensively, but what did you think? Like I thought that they, after winning the SEC, they probably could have gotten further in the tournament.
The one thing I felt like Arkansas could have used was more of a low post presence. They had some great guards, and Acuff and the other freshmen, they were really, really talented guards. And then you had Richmond, who was really a Swiss Army knife, can attack the rim, great athlete, can defend. Then you had Brazil. Brazil, athletic, can protect the rim, more of a face-up guy.
Yes.
And so you were always looking for an individual who could go into the paint.
An extra defensive rebounder, because Brazil blocked shots and hit outside shots. But to your point, Richmond, I think, is very underrated. X-factor up and down the court, and Acuff's point guard. But they needed just an extra guy that can give them that defensive presence to get stops. And Arizona was not the best matchup for
them. Or when the jump shots aren't going in, let's enter this basketball into the post, and then let's play from there and spread the floor, because that would have given Acuff more room to drive and the others.
Well, and you guys know this, we get a steal here from Peter Suter going right to the rack to try to draw a foul in trouble, but he doesn't. It's a rebounded instead by Kohler. Up ahead, here they come, Norfolk Sports Club, and it's going to be a foul, and it's going to be a couple of free throws with 1:08. But it's so much in basketball, it's in sports in general. Styles make styles. It's matchups. And last year, Arkansas was a bad matchup for St. John's.
Right.
Kansas wasn't the best matchup, or St. John's wasn't a great matchup so much for Kansas this year. And then this year, Arizona was a tough matchup for Arkansas. Sometimes you get to those levels, and it can be, there are certain things that can dictate a matchup advantage for one team or the other.
And what you're willing to exploit.
Yes.
A lot of times, what you find in college basketball is guys, they have what they do. And they're successful, and they're in those positions because they are, one of the best. And so when you have a lot of the coaches, they're so used to doing certain things that they may not want to make an adjustment just for one game. I want to do what I do because this has been successful. So there's a gift and a curse in that. And so when you find opportunities to exploit people or make them do something different or take advantage of something, it really benefits you. That's the one thing I said about Coach Smith. And Coach Smith's the best coach I've ever played for and the greatest coach of all time. And I'm being biased. He had the most Final Four appearances in college basketball, but he only had 2 national championships. And so when you begin to think about those things, you say, well, how come he had so many Final Four appearances but only 2 national championships? Because Coach Smith is going to do what he does, and rightfully so because he's been so successful at it. But when you're in those games at that point in time, you may just need to make an adjustment just to get through tonight's game, to get to the championship game. And so, a lot of things that he's done, I most definitely take to heart and will use. But being an NBA basketball player, I learned how to adjust on the fly. Just like I talked about folks hurting Portsmouth Partnership going left every time. I got to address this right now because if I don't address it right now, tomorrow may be too late.
There is no tomorrow, as it was said.
There is no
movie.
tomorrow.
It was in that movie.
There is no tomorrow. Great job.
Apollo Creed, yeah. Remember that. 56-53. And matter of fact, speaking of that, Folks has been stuck on 10 points. Has not found the bottom of the net here in the second half. It's a 3-point lead for Norfolk Sports Club and those white unis trying to up it here with this possession with the rock right now. It's Nate Johnson. Spins on the defender, and Cooper doesn't get the roll. And who's going to come over with it? It's going to be Burnett. Gives him a fresh 14, and the kick out for a 3. It's Johnson, and his short, long rebound is going to be chased down by Portsmouth Partnership and Zach Cleveland and company looking for one final shot of this third quarter to possibly tie or get within one as Coach Marwan Sarhan.
They want to win now. Early in the game, they took those shots. Now they're trying to get to last shot.
We're going to make this last
Ball
10 minutes
screen, Michigan
war.
State.
Roll. There it is. 3-point shot. It's good. Oh, what a play.
And the foul.
And the foul. A 4-point
unfortunately.
opportunity for Peter Suter. So he not only ties it, but a chance to give them the lead before we go to break. How about the Red Hawk from Miami of Ohio, who had 1,596 points in his college career, and he hits a 3-pointer, which he did 115 times at Bellarmine and at Miami of Ohio. Here it is again. Hit the 3, and he drew the foul with Jackson Kohler getting a piece of him.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Jackson, it was a good job of switching out. And what you have to do then is when you begin to understand that the clock is beginning to run down, now you get up and make him drive because more than likely he won't have enough time to take a shot. So it's just being aware.
Free throw is good. 4-point play, and we'll go to the fourth quarter. 57-56, Portsmouth Partnership in front. You're watching On the Spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
And we welcome you back to our continuing coverage of the 72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament from Churchland High School. Matthew Hatfield alongside Shaman Williams and Jordan Maka, as it is a one-point battle, 57-56, with Portsmouth Partnership in the lead, and they have the possession to begin this fourth and final stanza. With the rock now is the guy that had the 4-point play to close out the third quarter, Peter Suter, and he gets rid of it and go into the basket on the roll. Drawing the foul is Carson Cooper, the big man from Michigan State.
Great job. You can tell he's been used to that, having somebody like Fears as a point guard to run ball screen, to run a two-man game, because he did a great job of setting the screen, opening up, and then catching the ball with two hands. A lot of times they can do the pick, they can do the roll, but being able to catch the basketball is the thing that we saw yesterday from a few individuals. So it was great to see Cooper execute a two-man game.
The guy that was regarded as a defensive wizard in college at Michigan State, trying to increase this lead even more for Portsmouth Partnership, and he does that with the swish.
Great touch, and he shot a three earlier from the corner, correct? So just imagine that two-man game with him being able to pop.
And look at the bench getting excited. Don't you love seeing that from these players on that bench for Portsmouth Partnership? Guys like Bryce Harris and also Rashawn Agee and Ezra Osser, they're cheering on their teammates. They don't, I mean, you come here and you want to certainly help your stock and get better yourself, but you also want to show you're a team guy and you care about winning.
No question.
Tremendous defensive there by Javonte Campbell, right?
The enthusiasm is palpable right now as we watch Suter get rid of it to the right. McKinnon. There's a strip as Nate Johnson comes away with it, the former MAC Defensive Player of the Year at Akron.
And it's unfortunate because Cooper had a mismatch, and if you've just been patient, just deliver the ball into the interior, then you could have had a big on a small right there.
Suter blocks Fulks, and it sets up a three-pointer that's off the mark, but there's a grab, as I think it was Burnett who got tangled up inside with someone in orange. I believe that was Zach
Number
Cleveland.
30. Zach Cleveland, that's right.
So Burnett committing that one, and all the momentum that Norfolk Sports Club had a little while ago, it seems to have evaporated.
Yeah.
Good to know now we now have our stat feed live backing up and kicking for us, so I can give you some updated numbers if you're wondering who's the leading scorers. Well, Peter Suter's got 15. He had that 4-point play for Portsmouth Partnership, and Trey Kaufman-Wren's got 15 for Norfolk Sports Club. Themis Fulks, though, stuck on 10, 12 for McKinnon, 11 for Bryce Harris. As we watch the ball trickle out of bounds in the corner, 6 on the shot clock.
Portsmouth Partnership is just being a little bit more physical. They've been physical on the interior. They've been physical defensively. And like you said before, the enthusiasm on the bench.
It's really noticeable here as they're getting the inbound in the corner. It's going to be Cooper. Cross-court pass to McKinnon. Kicks it out up top. Three-point shot off the back iron. Rebounded by Burnett. And the throw ahead. Oh, that was not needed, was it? Did not need that.
Patience. A little bit more patience right there.
I'm wondering right now, Jordan, who's going to be that guy to step up for Norfolk Sports Club? We saw early on it was Trey Kaufman-Wren. Who's going to be that guy to get them back on track? Because you and I both said off air, we can tell the audience now, we both like them coming in to win this tournament. They got to win this game, though, to win this tournament.
Yeah, we both agreed on that. I think Themis Fulks really needs to step up. Like just seeing how he orchestrated the offense and controlled it. I was pointing out how earlier in the third, when they took him out, the offense looked a little bit disjointed. Hoping he can sort of develop some momentum for this team, and they just need to control the ball in transition and stop making these like total lead passes that are really bad.
Here's Nate Johnson working on the defender, and Cleveland can't get the finish inside, and Cleveland comes away with the board.
Okay, Cleveland's pushing tempo.
Yes, he is, the Conference USA Player of the Year. Inside, catching it.
Great footwork right there by Carson Cooper. Great catch, great pump fake, and now he's back at the free throw line.
That versatile center with the ability to stretch the floor with his ball skills and long wingspan. We see it right there. Just nimble on the feet.
Really good catch, too.
Yes. Yes. Now, it's interesting because they're taking Akpar out, and they're coming back with Jackson Kohler. Now,
they both have 5 fouls.
Yeah, we talked about earlier, teammates. So let's see, will Jackson end up playing Cooper?
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, that's what going back to that storyline we had early on. The first free throw is good. It could get spicy here down the stretch. And, you
Yeah.
know, you have momentum. It's a 5-point lead, but all it takes, you guys notice, is 1 or 2 plays to boom, boom. We've watched it the last 2 nights in the play-in with the NBA games, the deficits that the Warriors and the Blazers erased on the road, too. But it could just take 1 or 2 plays, whether it's a three-pointer or not. Even it could be a steal, a block that just changes the flow and momentum of a game. And now you get unsettled, and there's a pass, extra pass, as it's Burnett finding Kaufman-Renn. Folks has it.
Kaufman-Renn's been really quiet here in the second half.
Inside, Nate Johnson with the deuce, and they
Great
needed that
finish.
one. Nate Johnson, who became a better outside shooter the last couple of years, was also, of course, at Kansas State to close out the career. 1,200
There's the matchup,
points.
ladies and gentlemen.
There it is.
The Michigan State matchup.
You see him down low, 30 in white, 32 in orange. Cooper and Kohler. Inside, it's going to be a strip there by Burnett
hands.
making the play. That might be a defensive play. We look back on it, change the momentum. That one gets deflected, but look at the hustle there. And the ball's still alive. Can they get to it in time? And going out of bounds. And
Great
underneath the
hustle.
table.
Great hustle. Here's a disclaimer as well. Carson Cooper and Jackson Kohler's assistant coach there at Michigan State was here with me in the 1998 Portsmouth Invitational, Sonny Washington.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Good little nugget to know. I
Yeah.
think that was Zach Cleveland, who was going on the sideline here, just giving up his body to try to get that one.
Somebody wants to win.
Yeah.
Fully committed.
This is going to be interesting. This game, now we're not at the 4-minute mark just as of yet. We have 3 minutes and 14 seconds, and then we're going to see who will make the impact to win the game in the last 4 minutes.
Basketball now, it's Themis Fulks. Gets some speed, kicks it out, corner 3 for Nate Johnson, and Norfolk
Great
Sports
job.
Club reclaims
Can
the
anybody
lead.
tell me
There
which
it is.
way Folks was going?
He was down the middle, and he kicked it left.
Oh, my goodness. They said this is hard.
No, not that hard.
Great
For him,
job.
it was easy.
Great job by Themis. Now, I don't want people to think that I'm, like critiquing this game to in a bad way, because I think it shows how talented he is, that he's able to do the same things over and over, and people can't stop him. That really shows the talent of an individual. But like I said before, when you're evaluating things and you're trying to stop somebody, these are the things that you're watching, and you learn as a pro.
Inside,
Great
off the
ball
glass.
screen and roll.
Finishes there for Ezra Asar. The Southern Cal Trojan gives
There's
him
a
the lead
post up.
back. Will he get help? It's going to be singled up. No help. Ball's loose. Poke away in the steal for Suter now. And he's going to get, tripped up as you see Kohler got tangled.
High dribble. They poked it from behind from Kohler. Would that be number?
That's going to be for Kohler. It's going to be number 6. He's done, I
That's
believe.
what I thought that you said previously.
Yeah.
That's his 6th.
He is done now. So with Kohler fouling out, the second player to foul out. By the way, do you know who Tom Izzo, I know you'll get a chuckle because you know this name real well, referred to him when he obviously got to Michigan State. They referred to him as a Zach Randolph type of post player.
Who?
Jackson Kohler, that was the comp. Yeah.
Randolph.
Well, I'm not going to go against Tom Izzo. I have
Yeah.
too much respect
I know,
for him.
I know.
But if that's what he saw and he said,
I think
that's it.
more in terms of, this, Shimon, being more the beneath the rim. He's not one of those high flying, but he's one of those type. That's what I think he was
okay,
trying to
all
get
right,
across.
all right,
So-
okay, yeah.
And then the hands and footwork type. But
Yeah.
I didn't initially think of Zebo myself when I heard that as well. But it's an interesting. It makes you think deeper about it a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it made me think extremely deep. But I wasn't going to go against him now. I wasn't going to go against Izzo.
nor am
I wasn't
I.
going to do that now. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
If he said it, okay.
Listen,
all right,
He's seeing
I got it.
something.
One of the best.
Yeah.
But I think that's a flattering because obviously Zach had a heck of a career.
Yeah.
I mean,
As Mark Jackson would say,
To number 32.
Mama, there goes that man.
Yeah. It was a really good one.
Yeah, Zebo was talented. Lord knows
Free
he was
throws now
talented.
for Peter Suter.
Suter with 2 shots.
Peter Suter is actually making an impact.
And he was a guy, I believe, as well, and I don't want to be quoted as saying this, but I think he was not initially. I think he took the place of somebody from the initial
Really?
list here. Yeah, so he's
Really?
making his mark. Absolutely, led the Red Hawks, of course, with the scoring and 14.8 points, 4.6 rebounds, 4 assists per game this year, while shooting 54.6% from the floor. And it's a 3-point lead now for partnership. Norfolk Sports Club trying to get an answer again. They had that corner three that Fulks found Nate Johnson for, and they're going to have a foul drawn here with 6 minutes even on the clock.
Folks get fouled. He got fouled right there on the left side of the floor.
One-way
In the
traffic.
corner.
One-way traffic.
Bryce Harris is second.
And Bryce Harris.
Left. Every time.
Free throws. How about the gap in this, guys? At one point, and this is not up to the minute here, but it was 30 of 37 for Portsmouth Partnership to 13 of 15 for Norfolk Sports Club. So Partnership has lived at the line. I mean, lived at the line. That's more than double in terms of free throws. Here's Harris. Excuse me, that's rather Johnson kicking it out, and the shot is missed. Harris gets the rebound. And now Partnership with a chance to make it a two-possession lead again. Inside. Ball's going to score it away, and it will go the other direction.
That was great hands by Burnett. He played two. He didn't overextend himself.
Timeout on the floor.
Yeah, Burnett's done it a couple times this one. We've got a timeout on the floor. 5:41 to play. Norfolk Sports Club trails it by 3, and you're watching the PIT on the spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Just a smidge more balance for Portsmouth Partnership. They've lived at the free throw line, and they have a 64-61 lead on Norfolk Sports Club here with 5:41 to play. Looking for that third option is Norfolk Sports Club. Themis Fulks and Trey Kaufman-Wren have done a bulk of the scoring. There's a bounce pass from Fulks to TKR. The handoff back. It's going to be Trimble to Trey Kaufman-Wren at the foul line. Hands right off to Fulks with 10 on the shot clock between legs dribble. Trying to get open, but nowhere to go for Namari Burnett. The kick out. Stevenson for three.
Big rebound by Kaufman.
Offensive board to give him another chance at it. Now another three. No, it's going to be kicked over to Trimble in the corner, and he's trapped immediately. And that might have been a pass that wasn't needed by Stevenson as he put Trimble in a tough spot in the Coffin corner.
Bad spacing. Stevenson needed to lift right there out of the corner and get more closer to the 45 as opposed to being below the hash.
Yeah.
And so that defender was able to play both men. Spacing on the weak side was the issue right there.
Great
job right there by TKR.
The Purdue Boilermaker making it happen. He had 25 in the round of 64 against Queens and a 20-point performance along with the 8 in the Big Ten tournament title win over Michigan. Right now he's teammates with Burnett for this Norfolk Sports Club team, down by 1. But oh, the cut and the fine as McKinnon scores it. Beautiful pass as well. I think that was Harris on that dime. And Coach Corner there asked for the timeout. Former ODU Monarch assistant, and we'll take one, too, with 4:42 to play in the fourth quarter. Come on back. We've got the PIT action for you. Who's going to the semis? You're watching on the spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Peter Suter with 17 to lead Portsmouth Partnership. He of Miami of Ohio. Trey Kaufman-Renn with 17 points and 6 boards to lead Norfolk Sports Club. Back here with Jordan Macon, Shamal Williams, Matthew Hatfield here at the 72nd annual PIT. And with the basketball now, it's Norfolk Sports Club looking for the tie or a chance to pull within one. It is TKR.
There's the ball in the interior.
And it back down against Asar. Turns right. Oh, a little help challenge there by Agee from Texas A&M, and now they're off and running. Bounce pass from Suter. Agee's got it. He turns, keeps the control. Count it, +1 for Rashawn Agee. We've not talked a ton about him, but he made a key play there.
Yeah, he got the block on one end, and then he came down defensively, ran the floor. The ball was entered into him in the break in the middle. He made a nice reverse dribble and finished.
At his own pace.
D1 level, 4 different schools: New Mexico State, Bowling Green, Southern Cal, and Texas A&M, and made it happen there, but doesn't get the and one to go as Burnett gets the rebound. So 2-possession game, 5-point gap. Here's Seth Trimble going
That's
to
nice, Seth.
crack and off the window for 2.
Under control, got to the paint. Maybe he needed to be a little bit more aggressive. He made that look easy.
Yeah, it's there for him. To the left now. You see Suter.
Oh,
he was being checked by Folks, but then he got by him rather suddenly, and then Suter with the basket and one. Peter Suter
ladies and gentlemen.
having himself a day here, or we'll say a night here at the PIT at Churchland High, and Agee's fired up for his teammate.
What we're seeing right now is the impact of foul trouble, right? You got Kaufman-Renn now operating as the 5. You see a lot of the rim protection's gone.
Kohler and Akpara being done. It's no question been an impact.
Well, here we are. 3:53, last 4 minutes of the game. Which players will impact the game?
That's his 5th.
Asar's 5th on the other side now for Portsmouth Partnership. They don't have anybody else with more than 4. As TKR gets it face up now against Asar. He pokes it away despite the 5 fouls. Staying aggressive, Folks. Kicks it back to the right now. It's going to be lost by TKR. Bobble, and then Suter has it. So a 5-point lead and a chance to work a little bit of clock if they'd like, although we see Suter puts the acceleration and changing gears, gets it back from McKinnon.
The entire defense is converging on TKR. They got to make some kind of adjustment.
Get the spacing. There's a 3-ball for Suter, who's really starting to flourish in this 4th quarter.
Suter's a shooter.
Yeah. Peter. And there's a lob, and the follow is good for Stevenson. That's Stevenson's first field goal. Into the front court. Lob ahead, nobody on the backside. There's a jam as it's thrown down by Asar.
Paint's open.
It really is without that rim protector inside. Akpara having fouled out, also missing Kohler. Folks, between the legs dribble. Kicks it over to Kaufman-Renn. Gets by one defender, leads in and knocks the jumper down.
Nice touch right there.
Trey Kaufman-Renn cuts it to 6. It's going to require some stops now from Norfolk Sports Club.
Who's going to get a stop?
Because
Courtney Stevenson's on Suter now.
Suter's got it. TKR gets switched over to him. Now the pass over to McKinnon. McKinnon trying to go baseline. Twists his way, doesn't get the finish, and now Stevenson's got it. And it's stolen away by Suter. How about that? And he makes the pass right away to Asar.
Too much.
Between the hands, but it's saved in the corner by Harris. Now you want to use some clock here. Up by 6. They don't want to rush things. Trying desperately to spread them out. A deep one that rims out, and it's rebounded by Trimble.
You could see he wants the ball in his hands late.
Partnership trying to get a bucket. A deep tray doesn't go. Rebounded again for
bad shots.
Really bad shot.
The fatigue and the shot selection along with the foul trouble all rearing its head at the wrong time at this point of the game for Norfolk Sports Club. 4 of 19 from 3 to start this game for Norfolk Sports Club.
Oh,
And down low in the post, and that big guy gets called for steps. That was a tough matchup.
big
for
possession
Trimble.
right here. Big possession right here. Big possession right here.
Absolutely essential. As we'll get a timeout on the floor, and I think we're going to probably take one or we'll keep it right here rather, with 1:05 to go
Timeout.
in the fourth quarter. Portsmouth Partnership on top of Norfolk Sports Club as a minute 05 to go, guys. What are we looking for? Are you looking for that quick 2, or are you trying to get a 3 here? So far, the 3s have not been falling for NSC.
You want the best shot possible. You want to attack the basket. If you can get an and one, a traditional and one, then you would love that. If you can get an uncontested shot, then you'll take that as well. The one thing you don't want, which they had the previous possession before, was a turnover.
Yeah, I've noticed that they're posting up TKR and like operating their offense off of that. I think that they got to look opposite if that's the case. Someone's got to be open for the corner 3 because the driving lanes are kind of jammed up with if TKR's in there. So you got to either space it a little bit more or use it and look opposite and then move the ball.
22 points for Peter Suter here for Portsmouth Partnership. 7 of 11 from the foul line. As we watch some of these highlights in the fourth quarter, there's the jam moments ago from Asar as he throws it over top. Following him in scoring is Max McKinnon with 14. Asar's got 13. Meanwhile, for Norfolk Sports Club, Trey Kaufman-Renn with 19 points and 7 boards. 10 points for Themis Fulks, but still looking for someone else to be that third option here in the closing minutes as Namari Burnett, Nate Johnson, and Seth Trimble all have 9 apiece.
I'm hoping Trimble steps up.
Yeah, he had a chance right there in the possession. He brought the ball down and just reversed it when I felt like he personally could have attacked the basket at that point in time, put pressure on the defense like he had just did before in the half-court set and scored. He could have done the same thing right there, especially when you're looking at the time and the score.
A reminder, the loser of this game will be playing at 3:30 tomorrow, and that'll be against the loser of the last game that we had, which was Browns Landscaping falling to Sales Systems 94-90. Sales Systems has moved on to the consolation game coming up on Saturday.
Oh,
Open down low.
big right here.
Shot fake in the corner. Folks try to make something happen. His corner
There
3
it
is
is.
good. On the left side of the
There
floor,
it is.
Folks pulls them within the 3 ball.
Got to defend now.
They don't want to foul here either. As Folks is up to 13.
Got him.
Trapped along the sideline. Will they
Got
get a
him.
timeout? They don't. Oh, they lose the ball, and it's going to be out of bounds last off of Orange. And you see Folks and company irate. They thought it was off of them last.
Well,
Now Portsmouth Partnership is
unfortunately, we don't have the review system working here at Churchland today.
no challenge or instant replay.
Yeah, the internet's not working like it should, so
Yeah,
we
we've had
can't
some.
use it.
Fortunately, thank goodness, the great folks here have allowed us to do some extra troubleshooting before our games today. We corrected a lot of our problems we had yesterday, so we're
Oh, no.
ecstatic about that.
Oh yeah, our stuff is working great. It's the NBA's review system that's not working.
This is true. Although I have heard from some NBA people in this building that have been a little disgruntled about this, the cell service in here too as well. You're in a high school gym as opposed to.
It's the greatest thing for them. It makes them pay attention to their job. They can't be on. They can't be on the telephone. They can't be doing X.
You know, that's how many times we've been at AAU games or high school games or college games, and they're just
No
sitting on the
question.
phone.
They're
We're
sitting on
all
the phone.
guilty to that. Yeah, we all.
Oh, highway
let's go
robbery.
right. Folks got it from Campbell, going to the basket.
Oh, he blew it.
And he doesn't
Oh,
get it. But
good
the
help.
offensive board by Burnett. He's a winning player and a national
Ladies and
champ
gentlemen,
to make this game
folks again.
a 2-point game. Although the scoreboard has not reflected it yet. It should be
2
75-73.
There it is.
Finally reflected now. They're going to wait it out or foul because you got about a 3 to 4 second differential. This is a risk you're taking. Let's see how it'll pay off for them.
Work timeouts.
Suter's got it.
Gotta make
Matched
him
up
go
against
left.
KR. Dribbles to the left.
Got to make him go left.
All the way shot with 6, and it's money for Peter Suter with 4.9 to go. Timeout, and it's a 4-point lead. How clutch has he been with a game-high 24, the Red Hawk of Miami of Ohio.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Suter.
Oh, Peter, not a pumpkin eater. He's a basketball eater. Look at this. He eats hoops. He's a junkie, and he's got the shot making to go with it. What a performance he's had in this fourth quarter.
Suter's a shooter. That's it.
I said, who would dominate the game the last 4 minutes? And I would say it would be Suter. And Folks. Folks did a pretty good job here in the last 4 minutes.
Remember, this is a guy that had a 42-point effort in a win over Air Force on his way to first-team All-MAC honor. So he has had the outburst before. He is no stranger to stepping up in a grand setting. And Peter Suter trying to will his team on to the semifinals. I think I misspoke earlier about the matchup that we'll have for the consolation. So apologies. The loser of this game will take on the loser of the next game on tomorrow, whereas the winner of this game, which is looking like it's going to be Portsmouth Partnership, they'll move on to the semis on Friday at 8 o'clock. So I want to get that cleared up with 4.9 seconds to play here. And at this point, if you're Portsmouth Partnership and Coach Evan Key and Eric Johnson and Marwan Sahar, you're saying, don't foul. Whatever you do, do not foul up 4 here.
4-point play.
We've seen one already in this game by Peter Suter. And that changed this game in a lot of ways.
Totally did.
Oh, inbound to Fulks to his left. Leaning in, trying to draw the foul. It's short, and that's going to be the end of the ball game. Or there's going to be a second or maybe a couple tenths of a second on the clock. As I know, Norfolk Sports Club is wanting it to be, but it's not going to change the outcome ultimately. We'll see. They're going to put back 0.8 is what we're seeing.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, I have not seen Derek Fisher. You remember him from point 4 with the Lakers against the Spurs. And that one's going to be off the mark. And our ball game is over. Norfolk Sports Club falling to Portsmouth Partnership 77-73. Peter Suter leads the way with 24 points. Trey Kaufman had 19 on the other side for Norfolk Sports Club. Guys, this was fun, and plenty more great action awaits.
It's a great one. Enjoyed it, Jordan.
For Shimon Williams and Jordan Maka, I am Matthew Hatfield. Stick around. We've got more basketball coming from the 72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. Our next contest will feature the matchup that many have been waiting for, coming up between Portsmouth Economic Development and Mike Duman Incorporated. Stick around. You're watching on Prep Spin and also watching with us on The Spot, Norfolk 27.